Hello, everybody. Welcome on into Tomes. My name is Jason Wiley. I am one of the hosts of the Tomes podcast, and today we will be watching the Dune Part 2 trailer, the second trailer to this series. I'm excited. Going to do the exact same I did before, where we're going to watch it all the way through, and then we'll go back through and do a breakdown of it. So, let's get started.
This world is beyond cruelty. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries. They were massacred alongside my father.
Your father didn't believe in revenge. We believe in Fremen.
Let me fight beside you.
Reload!
He said that. I got that. Thanks.
I won't be fighting for him. I'm fighting for my people.
You young pup.
Do you believe in Paul?
There are signs. The prophet. Why is that a bad thing? Use it.
Because all my visions lead to horror.
Because you lose control.
Because I gain it. Johnny, do you believe in me?
Paul Atreides is still alive.
Deal with this prophet.
Show me who you are.
Your father. Was a weak man. Look who's back from the dead.
I will do what must be done.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
I will love you as long as I breathe.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
It's not a prophecy. It's a story.
I don't care what you believe. I believe. I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. Under the Messiah's under!
He who can destroy a thing has the real control of it.
Okay. So, a lot of good things. Like, I'm so excited for this one. It's so good. It is so good. So, whenever I say, I want to pause, I'm going to pause. Okay, let's just go. This is so good.
This world is beyond cruelty. You've been fighting the Harkonnens.
Okay, so first thing I gotta say is I love the music choice. Hans Zimmerman, he's so good. I love this look. I love this aesthetic. I love how you can see the Baron on his like lifters, but it doesn't look comical like in the 1980s version of Dune. But it looks formidable. It looks foreboding. It looks sinister, and I love that change. I love that look. It's so good.
For decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries. They were massacred alongside my father.
Okay, I do like this. So this is the take they are going with it. This was my one beef with the book is that once you get into part 3, there's this huge, massive time skip. Where, again, I believe it's like 2 years. It's like I think it's like a 2-year time skip. Where they jump forward in the future to where Paul has done the rebellion. Like, he actually has the Fremen going against the Harkonnens in a very like actual way, that he's able to do this. And that's where there's rumors going around, just like the prophet, the Muad'Dib, that's who we need to take out. Who is he? What is he? And that's what kind of creates that mystery in the book. I like how they have done away with that and instead made it a little bit quicker, bit more fast paced, which makes sense for a movie. So they made it fast paced and very much more on, because during that 2-year time skip, Paul goes back to where the fall happens, the fall of the house. He goes, recovers something of his father, which is this portrait, and they burn it in remembrance to give them the funeral for Leto Atreides. So I do like how they're taking that route instead.
Your father didn't believe in revenge.
His grandfather did.
We believe in Fremen.
Let me fight beside you.
Reload!
Not sure how I feel, but actually, mostly I'm okay with this. With Chani being the one to really lead the charge in all this. I'm okay with it just because it makes it a little bit more interesting, makes it a little bit different dynamic. But Paul's the guy you want to have your bets on when it comes to fighting. Chani is still formidable. Like, Chani is still scary. So I'm hoping that they show how formidable she is alongside Paul, because Paul is still very formidable. The two are meant to complement one another. I just hope that neither one of them overshadows the other. I want them to complement each other, which from what I've been seeing in this, they are very much trying to do more of the complementary. So that's where I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff come with it. Oh, I do like the design for the siege. Yeah, I really do like that design for the siege. It makes it really look almost like an ant hive. It looks really cool.
He said that.
I got that. Thanks.
I won't be fighting for him. I'm fighting for my people.
I'll continue watching.
You young pup.
I love this part in the book. It's just, and I do love how they've shown it like this, where Halleck is like, "You're alive!" And Paul's like, "Buddy, Gertie," I love it. I love it. And so the fact they are rekindling that, it's just so cool.
Do you believe in Paul?
There are signs.
The prophet. Why is that a bad thing? Use it.
So this is where it's going to be a little bit interesting. And actually, I'm realizing now some of the choices they made. So in the book, right before the fall, like before the raid from the Harkonnens to the Duke's house on Arrakis, Jessica confronts Halleck, thinking him to be the traitor. She confronts him and basically tells him that, like, yeah, I suspect you as being a traitor. And so in turn, he suspects her to be the traitor. And actually, the Duke is the one that kind of pushed that. Is he wants people to think that he doesn't trust Jessica, when in turn, he's just like, that is the one person I can count on. So who is going to capitalize on it and show their hand and be the traitor? So the fact that Jessica and Halleck don't have that confrontation, there's no longer that mutual, like, oh, we don't trust each other. So I'm curious now to see how that relationship plays out in the movie, because I know when this part happens in the book, Halleck comes up and is just like, I'll kill her, I'll kill Jessica. So I'm very much thinking, oh, now these two will, when they see each other, like, okay, so you weren't the traitor, I wasn't the traitor, you weren't the traitor. Okay, let's work together. Let's make sure Paul becomes the leader. And so that's why he's saying, he's like, the prophet, why is that a bad thing? Use it to your advantage. And then this is where we get into Paul and his future sight, where he can see all the outcomes.
Because all my visions lead to horror.
And okay, just going around real quick. So this is Jessica becoming the Reverend Mother. Yeah, Jessica becoming the Reverend Mother, because this is the Fremen's Reverend Mother. And the way they pass it on is they do it through this water that really connects her consciousness. But Jessica makes one fatal flaw, and she does it while she's pregnant. So the baby also becomes her Reverend Mother.
Because you lose control.
Because I gain it.
So, and a lot of this in the book is very much Paul wants to have the best life for him. But in every vision he's seeing, it ends in it leads to horror because he's at the helm. So he's trying to make sure that the Fremen have their own way of governing themselves and that they're not just solely reliant on him, the prophet.
Johnny, do you believe in me?
Paul Atreides is still alive.
Again, interesting look for Princess Irulan. Although nobody really ever confirms that Paul is alive. They're like, could have happened. But immediately they go, no, the storm got them. Like, he is dead. Did we get a body confirmation? No, but there's no way we could recover the body. It's very much like, oh, actually, it's kind of like the submersible, where, again, and I'm using this just as an example of just, we already know it imploded, and it's going to be near impossible to find and recover the bodies because they got incinerated. It's kind of the same concept, same idea, same belief that's happening here with Paul's and Jessica's death, is that they were killed in the storm, and so there's really no way to really find it, because even if they did find the shipwreck, being able to find bones in an explosion or even just anything that's already been lost and covered in the sands of Dune, it's going to be near impossible. So for them to go, yeah, we know Paul Atreides is alive, it's like there needs to be a little bit more skepticism in it. And I love the choice they made for the Emperor.
Deal with this prophet.
Show me who you are.
Fade looks good. And I love how, again, I know I said this last time, but I love how they made the sun, because again, there's different kinds of suns out there, and I love how they have it be this like stark white.
Your father was a weak man.
And again, this is during the confrontation between the Emperor and Paul, when Paul is able to conquer.
Look who's back from the dead.
I will do what must be done.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
I will love you as long as I breathe.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
It's not a prophecy. It's a story.
I don't care what you believe. I believe.
Love the worm in the background. I love the shot. Just chef's kiss.
I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis, under the Messiah's attack!
He who can destroy a thing has the real control of it.
And that is how Paul is able to conquer. So I'll cover this real quick, and yes, this will be spoilers. So if y'all want to Actually, I'll finish the trailer, and then I'll reveal the spoiler, because it is kind of the pinnacle of all this to those who haven't read the book and don't know the full story here. And I still love just how in the background you hear that thumper, just having that play in the background. It's just, it's good. Okay, so going back into the spoiler here. So if you don't want the spoiler, that's kind of the end of the trailer. It's good. I'm excited for it. Looks great. And again, I've been excited since I've actually read the book and gone through this. I'm excited to see this in theaters. So if you don't want the spoiler, now you can sign off. Now, for those that done the spoiler, you know why I'm excited. Who've read the book and you know about the spoiler. Because, and here it goes. That whole line, he who has the power to destroy it has total control. Yeah. He who can destroy a thing has the real control of it. What Paul does is he's able to basically plant explosive charges to get rid of the spice. Some of the spice veins that they use, that the Empire uses. So that's the way Paul is able to hold the Emperor in check. He's like, yeah, you know the spice that we use for trade, travel, navigation, just about everything in life? Yeah, I will destroy it if you do not listen to my demands. Because that's basically what he does. And he's like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Destroys one of the spice mines. That's what I'm assuming is happening in this trailer. So I'm just like, yes. But nonetheless, that's kind of the breakdown of the trailer for part 2. It comes out November 2nd. Did I read that right? Oh, November 3rd. But either way, I'm excited. I cannot wait for this film to come out, and I'm so excited to watch it. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning into Tomes, and we will catch you guys next time.